take her out of there tonight.
So hi Daniel, I'm very excited to talk to you today. I'm loving Tehran. I really am. So thank you for the interview.
I'm so happy you love it. I love it too.
There are a lot of espionage thrillers out there, and yet this one stands out and is different and is fresh and intriguing. What would you say are your secrets or your tips to make this work and to make this different?
Oh, I'm so happy that you like it and of all the wonderful things you said about it. I really think it is different. And you know, I've been thinking about it. I'll tell you something. I think we made this show with a lot of heart. We really did. We put a lot of ourselves in it. When I talking about myself, talking about the producers and the writers, Omri and Moshe and myself, and we just put ourselves in the head of the characters and try to, feel them, to feel Tamar, our protagonist, to feel Faraz, the antagonist, was a really complex man, and just to use our hearts and soul. And I think, this production really moved us a lot. It was, for me personally, it was super important, and the things that I went through doing it and achieving it were so meaningful for me that I think maybe in some miraculous way it's reflected on the screen.
I can say you are successful already internationally, and I wanted to ask you, I think each new thing you do makes you better in any way. So what did you learn about yourself, about your way of directing or whatever through this show?
Wow, that's a really interesting question, Dana, and thank you for studying my biography a little bit. First thing I did, I'll tell you what the first thing I did when I got the assignment. I went to study Farsi, because I told myself, I was born in Moscow and I grew up in Israel, and I was this Russian boy in Israel who was seeing those American movies with people playing Russians who spoke lousy Russian. And I was really pissed with that. And I said, the characters in this series will speak Farsi. So I said, they will speak real Farsi, and I need to cast real people who speak Persian. And for that, I have to learn Persian. So I took along Niv Sultan, and together we went to a marvelous, beautiful Persian teacher, and we learned Farsi for 4 months. So if you ask me, I can say a couple of words in Persian. I don't speak Persian, but I certainly understand and hear a lot of Persian. So, for me, this was just the beginning, and through this, it was an entrance door into an amazing world, the world of Iran, which we really try to show in the series, the unknown Iran. So through Persian, it was my first, step going into what we really wanted to show in the show, in our show, an unknown Iran, a place where young people live, a place where people have aspirations and hopes, not quite what we see, on TV, on the news. And for me, that was a great achievement.
I was amazed when I found out that you went to Athens, to Greece, to film everything. And what was the challenge to build the streets from another country there?
Our show is a really fast show. It's an action show, and we wanted it to feel and look like Tehran, to really make all the action work, and for people that were ever there or saw anything about there to really believe us. So what we did, we looked for a place to shoot Tehran, and we thought about Istanbul, we thought about Morocco. It was all far and a bit complicated to us. And then our producer Dana, she was on a holiday in Athens. She said, I have the place. Athens looks a lot like Tehran. The basis was just there, and we had to really to make a lot of replicas of stuff that we knew is available in Tehran, like lampposts or like barriers. Of course, all the street signs. We had to repaint. Athens is a city full of graffiti, so we had to repaint a lot of the walls of Athens, the beautiful Athens, which I fell in love with. And of course, the second half of it was to make Athens believable as Tehran for our show, was to cast many extras and as many people as possible who were Persian speaking and had the Persian look. And luckily for us, Athens is a place that hosts or holds a great number of refugees coming out of the entire Middle East, but there's about 5,000 people from Iran in Athens, and they were available for us, so we could cast policemen, we could cast taxi drivers, the small roles, the small bit parts that really, if you have them right, they really make a show great. I felt so good that making this show about Iran, trying to show the beautiful face or interesting face of Iran, we can also help really Iranian people. And And you know, this meeting with the Iranian people in Athens was the most special thing for me. The show was amazing, and you know what? Those people that work with me on the show, they write to me on email that they're enjoying the show. For me, you know, that's the best thing.
What are your personal favorite espionage thrillers and other similar movies or TV shows that you admire?
You know, I watch a lot of TV and a lot of movies, and of course, I think I love the Bourne trilogy. I think it's just wonderful. I think there are like amazing action achieved there, and you know, changed the face of the action making. And you know, in Tehran, we try to do sophisticated action, and while doing action, to keep the character in mind. And that's a thing that, you know, I'm really proud of. That we don't have just explosions and, you know, just fights or just chases just for the fun of it. They're fun, but we always try to remember that we have a character there, and we have to concentrate on the character. Whenever I see movies or like the Bourne trilogy that has it, I think it's an achievement.
My last question is about Niv Sultan. She's amazing, and I wanted to ask you, like, how did you cast her?
I'll tell you, Niv Sultan was a famous actress in Israel, and she did some really nice, light kind of romantic things. And our producer, Dana and Shula, our producers, worked with her before Tehran, and they told me, listen, this girl, she's Tamar. Believe us. And I said, okay, I believe you, but you know, but they said, no, she's the girl. And they pressed me so much. I told them, listen, I have to see other actresses. And then I auditioned like 60 other actresses, and eventually I went back to Niv because she was just the best, you know. And she is amazing, and she is so hardworking. And as I told you, we went to study Farsi together. And so my first meeting with Niv professionally was not a rehearsal, but was a Persian lesson. And she takes, you know, she goes to the lesson, she takes out the ruler, you know, all the books, and she was so diligent, she was so great, she was so smart that I knew she would be perfect as the Mossad hacker, you know, the smart girl, the hardworking girl, and she's just amazingly talented, you know. I think Niv will be a big star.
Thank you for this show, and I hope a lot of people see it, and we get more seasons, and we get more about you and your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. It's amazing that people in Mexico can see our work on Apple TV Plus. I'm thrilled about it. Thank you.
It is amazing. Thank you.
There's no going back now.